The whole notion of being a role model is a lovely one. I think it's still potentially quite conflicting to me because I think that everyone is on their own path and everyone needs to make like their own mistakes. I get quite emotional with how happy I get at the fact that like my characters have given people hope. Or rather than a role model, I feel like if I can make people feel less alone, then that really warms my heart. When I found out that I was going to be the Doctor, my agent called me as I was going into a barbershop and told me, and I just froze. She was like, hello? And I was like, I'm gonna call you back. And then just hung up. And then didn't think about it for a week because I was like, I just thought about everything else. It's like, I've got my laundry to do, I've got the gym to go to. I can't think about this huge life-changing thing that you've just thrown at me. I'm gonna get on with my life. And then after about a week, I was like, it's a no-brainer, I have to do it. But I think it was quite overwhelming at first just because of how iconic the institution is.
Yo, man. Not me.
I felt like I could relate to so much of the Doctor's story. His journey coming from Gallifrey, being the last of his kind, his people have been in a great war, and you know, he's a bit of a like public loner. So I quite often, oh God, I'm gonna sound so lame, but I'm not opposed to like eating in a restaurant on my own or going to the cinema on my own or doing things on my own. I like to kind of be on my own, but in public. So I'm not too alone, but also like I'm minding my business. So I feel like the Doctor has that. Like he's traveled the whole universe and is friends with everyone and knows everyone, and yet no one really knows him. And I find that a really intriguing element of him. Whenever I meet people like that, I'm like, I want to figure you out. I am going to figure you out. Those people normally tend to be Capricorns and Scorpios. Going into acting, I thought that I was going to be in theatre for the rest of my life and was happy to do so. That was the medium that I was trained in and love the most. Cut that out. I don't need Spielberg seeing that. But theatre, I thought that I was always going to do theatre. I'm attracted to complex characters, so when I find those characters that are very joyful and kind of eat life up in that joyful way, I'm quite keen to discover what's the other thing that makes them tick or what pushes them into that realm. I don't know, those characters that I've played that I've also had quite like a deep underlayer of sadness as well that perhaps informs the joy. And that's why I like kind of adding to those characters or finding within those characters is like, where's your pain as well? But also it's just a thing of like, I think that's what I get cast as. I'm quite keen to play a villain. I'm quite keen to play a baddie. I absolutely learn things from playing characters that are different from me. Because you're tapping into like another person's psyche. You're analyzing what makes them tick. You can't help but think about the things that what are similar and what is not similar, or like what are the choices you'd make. You learn so much about yourself and about others through acting.